Welcome to another night in the NBA. This is your 10-minute recap of the last night of NBA hoops. 4 games on the night, but the main topic is the Miami Heat, and more specifically, Bam Adebayo, because he has been phenomenal to start this season. The Heat beat the Hawks 117-109 in tonight's game, and Bam Adebayo had 26 points, 17 rebounds on 9 of 12 shooting. Super efficient, really good offensively, and a monster on the glass, and he's been so good to start the season. Through 8 games with Miami this year, Bam has averaged 23.1 points, 10.4 rebounds, and 3.5 assists on top of 1.6 blocks per game. I would say this is the best season of Bam Adebayo's career so far, and he has just been a dominant force. Just looking through some of his best games, you have the 26-17 game tonight. The game before this, he finishes with 30 points and 11 rebounds. He had a 22-point, 19 rebound, 10 assist triple-double already this season as well, and just has been fantastic for Miami to start the year. I would say has been hands down their best player. Tyler Herro has been good for them as well, but Bam Adebayo is just lighting the league on fire right now, and this is the best we've ever seen him offensively. Throughout his career, we can look at it, just what he's done over the course of his career, but his highest scoring season to this point is 20.4 points per game, and the 23.1 he's averaging right now would handily be better than what we've seen him do in the past. The 10.4 rebounds would also be a career high, as well as would be the 1.6 blocks. So this is the best we've seen from Bam in terms of scoring, in terms of rebounding, in terms of blocking shots. He's just been so good at doing everything and leads the Heat to a shocking win over the Atlanta Hawks tonight. The Hawks have been one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference to start the year, have a bunch of signature big wins to start the season, but Miami, without Jimmy Butler and without Tyler Herro, take them down. It was super impressive, and the Heat just continue to win with whoever they put on the floor, and they moved to 5-4 on the season, and all of a sudden the Heat are like a top 6 team in the East once again. It's actually just kind of ridiculous how the Heat always end up being a good team. I think this is their 4th win in a row, I believe, for Miami, and they have really picked up from what they started in terms of that 1-4 start to the year. People were already writing them off, saying, oh, something's wrong with Miami, they're not the same. They're the same. They're always going to win. They're always going to look good. And it's been a great kind of bounce back week and a half for the Heat now. But Bam was great in this game. Moving on from Bam and looking at some other key guys in this game, Jaimie Jaquez Jr., the rookie who was like the 18th pick, I think, he had his best game of the year. 20 points, 4 assists, 1 steal, 3 rebounds, 8 of 17 from the field, but 20 points, I believe, is his season high, and Jaquez really stepped up on a night where they needed it. They also get 16 off the bench from Josh Richardson, who went 6 of 7 from the field and was a plus 15, the best on the entire team. A guy who many people last season thought Josh Richardson was washed, that basically his NBA career was over, but Miami brings it back, and he kind of looks like the old Miami Josh Richardson once again. He's been good for them. 17 points and 4 assists for Kyle Lowry. They also get pretty decent Drew Smith minutes, who plays 28 minutes for them in this game, finishes with 9 points, 3 steals as well, and 4 of 8 shooting, so 50%. A lot of people were mad that Drew Smith got the final roster spot. They thought it should have been Jamal Cain or RJ Hampton, and I'm not necessarily going to disagree, but Drew Smith was solid in this game. Duncan Robinson, 11 points, only 33% shooting though, not very good. But Haywood Highsmith, a plus 10, the second highest in the game, 11 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists, doing a little bit of everything, but also shot horribly, 3 of 13 for Haywood Highsmith, but it doesn't matter because overall, he's still a positive, and that's just kind of the Heat way. You know, whether we're shooting well or not, we're going to make a positive impact on the floor, and that was shown once again tonight. Without 2 of their top 3 players, they take down one of the best teams in the East. And then from the Hawks, you see 23 from DeJounte Murray, 27 and 11 from Trae Young, and then 15 from Bogey off the bench, but they don't really get a ton outside of their main 2 because of how good the Heat's defense was in terms of just clamping them. 44% from the field for Atlanta and 49% from the field for Miami. They do shoot significantly worse from 3, shooting 31% compared to Atlanta's 39%, but they get more free throws. I believe they turned them over more. Yes, they did turn them over more, so they're going to beat you in other ways besides just shooting from downtown. They used to be a great shooting team. That's not really the case over the past couple years, but that doesn't really matter because they're Miami. They're zombies. They're always going to find a way back to win, no matter what the doubt on them is. And I would say pretty much everyone going into this game would have picked Atlanta, but behind Bam Adebayo, behind Jaimie Jaquez, and behind a guy like Josh Richardson, they pull off this game, and Bam has been fantastic to start the year, and I just wanted to point out how good he's been in the leap he's taking towards being like an all-NBA center. He could be third team all-NBA, so he's been great. But now let's shoot around the league, look at all the different outcomes, the scores, and who was productive in those games to get an idea of what happened on this night of NBA action. So looking around the NBA, there were 3 other games tonight, but I want to start off with Magic versus Bucks because this is a game the Magic win 112-97. It actually wasn't even super close. Basically from the get-go, Orlando owned this game to move to 5-4. Now all of the last 4 teams I've talked about in the East, Miami, Atlanta, Milwaukee, and Orlando, all sit at 5-4, over 500, and high up in the Eastern Conference. So there's now all of a sudden some depth in the East, some competition in the East, but Orlando continues to solidify themselves as a top 10 team in the NBA. That's what I said they were in today's power rankings. I had them at number 10, and I think that that's where they should be because they're just really good. They're great defensively, and their offense is better than a lot of people might think, but they hold the Bucks to 97 points. And once again, it's kind of a strategy where they say, we're going to let your best player try to beat us, kind of do his own thing, and then let the rest of the team get their shots up and see if they can beat us outside of your main guy, because you're not going to beat us by yourself. So Giannis finishes with 35 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists, and nobody else from Milwaukee even has 15. It's kind of been a strategy that Orlando's used so far to start the year, and it's successful. You know, we'll let your main guy score, but you know, what can the other guys do? And they get 10 from Chris Middleton, 14 from Cam Payne, 13 from Bobby Portis. But Brook Lopez, again, cannot clear 10 points. Malik Beasley finishes with 0. And Jay Crowder, 17 minutes off the bench, 1 point. So Orlando, great job defensively once again. And they get 20 points from Suggs, 26 from Banchero, and 24 from Franz Wagner, as well as 19 from Mo Wagner off the bench. The Wagner brothers both been very good to start the year. The Celtics beat the Raptors 117-94 to continue their really impressive start to the year. Boston looks like arguably the best team in the East. They did lose to Philly. It's kind of Boston and Philly at the top than everyone else, I would say, but they get 20 plus from 3 of their top guys, Jaylen Brown, Tatum, and Porzingis. And this is, I would say, the worst Scotty Barnes game of the season so far. Finishes with just 10 points on 4 of 15 shooting, and because of that, Toronto falls to Boston in a game that wasn't super close. And then finally, the last game of the night was Cavs versus Warriors, and the Cavs beat the Warriors for a second straight game, 118-110, to move to 4-5 on the season. With their 4 guys back, they've looked much better than they did with all the injuries to start the year, because of course. But they get 21 from Donovan Mitchell, 19 from Mobley, 19 from Garland, 16 from Max Strus, and 12 from Jared Allen. Just a super balanced attack from the starters, and they're actually led in scoring by Karis Karis LeVert, who had 22 off the bench, but no one else scored 10, and only Dean Wade had more than 2 outside of that. So really a 6-strong attack tonight for Cleveland, and with the talent they have at the top, it looked good, and they take down Golden State, who gets 30 from Curry, but no one else was really all that good. 13 from Wiggins, 14 from Klay Thompson, and Chris Paul finishes with 9 points and 9 assists, but the Cavs win. Beat the Warriors twice. The Warriors are 6-4 on the season, and 2 of those losses are to Cleveland. It feels like a very bad matchup for the Warriors. Anytime they face a team with a lot of size, they're going to struggle, and a team with Mobley and Allen is going to give them a lot of problems. But that is the 4 games from the night, and let's get into the last segment, as I always want to do, and talk about the top 5 players from the night according to the Real Sports app. I always want to kind of give you a glance of who the best performers on any given night were, and let's start off with number 1, who was Giannis Antetokounmpo in the loss, who finishes with 35 points, 10 rebounds, and shoots 68% from the field. Then Bam Adebayo at 2 with 26 points, 17 rebounds, and 4 assists. Jaylen Brown at 3 with 29 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. Tatum at 4 with 27 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. And then rounding out the top 5 is Karis LeVert with 22 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 steals. Impressive play from Karis LeVert in the victory, but that'll do it for this night in the NBA. Another night in the NBA. But thanks for watching. Think about subscribing. I'm on the road to 12,000 subscribers, but that's going to be it for me. So thanks for watching. I'm Herm. Have a good one.